Hi.
Get us on camera.
It seems like everybody I talk to who owns a 718 Spyder thinks it is the best sports car ever made. I got to drive a Spyder recently for one of our one-lap reviews, and they are not only great to drive, but they are legitimately fast on track. The Spyder is basically the convertible version of the GT4. They are not the absolute fastest cars out there, but they are a nearly perfect blend of accessible performance and driver engagement. The problem is they're expensive. You can't buy a new one anymore, but a used one is going to cost you at least $120,000.
It's true.
But what if you take a Boxster S that you can get for about $45,000 and spend another $10,000 or $15,000 on upgrades? Can you build a car that can beat the Spyder for half the price? We had a 2019 Boxster S that came through the shop recently that put that theory to the test. Unlike that sleeper Cayman S that we featured on the channel almost a year ago, this Boxster is going to see a lot of track days, so the recipe needed a few extra ingredients. The owner, Chip, brought his car all the way here from Raleigh, which is about 400 miles away from our shop in Roswell, because he didn't have a local shop that he trusted. Chip had a track weekend lined up down in Sebring, so there was a little bit of pressure to make sure that it all went smoothly. When the car arrived, our tech Gabe was ready to get to work. You may remember Gabe from such Wolfpen hits as installing a massive aero package on a GT4 RS and installing MCS three-way coilovers on a 991 GT3. Based on our recommendation, Chip had already installed a set of Apex wheels and sticky tires. Forged SM10 RS wheels in 18-inch sizes will run you around $3,100 for the set. We've since signed on as an Apex dealer, so we'd be happy to help if you are looking for wheels. Chip is also running GiroDisc 350mm two-piece rotors along with Padgett Endurance racing pads. That setup costs about $3,500 plus install. A sticky set of tires will add another $1,250. Chip went with a favorite tire of mine, the Goodyear Supercar 3. It's a 220 treadwear tire that has good water channeling, so it's better in the rain than a lot of track-focused tires, and it offers fantastic grip and feel. I think that the Apex wheels combined with the GiroDisc rotors are this subtle visual flex telling you that this car means business. But the real star of the show is a set of Ohlins Road and Track coilovers. Lately, these things have been really hard to find, and we think that maybe our last video helped get the word out about how they improve the handling of just about any Porsche sports car. At $4,100 plus install, we think they're probably the best mix of quality and value in terms of coilovers for this platform. It's a single adjustable damper where the adjustment knob affects low and high speed compression along with rebound damping. And because it's a coilover, you can customize your ride height. The spring rates with this kit are 70 newtons per millimeter front and 80 rear. Compare that to a GT4 that has 45 front and 80 rear. Stiffer front springs reduce dive under braking that contributes to the bump steer problem this platform is known for. We're reusing the factory top hats, but you could add camber plates to allow for more negative camber. You can adjust ride height once these are on the car, but Gabe finds it's easier if you get them dialed in before install. And can I just take a moment to say what a huge fan I am of the paint to sample lava orange on this car. You get used to seeing paint to sample colors on GT cars, but when it's on a base or an S, it really goes a long way towards making the car feel special. We're also installing Tarett adjustable sway bar end links front and rear. These will allow us to make sure that the sway bars aren't under tension when the car is sitting at a lower ride height. They also utilize a spherical bushing which won't deflect under load like the factory rubber bushing, so they should last longer and provide better feel. This end-link kit costs about $570. In combination with the Ohlins, the ride will be a lot sportier, but the adjustment on the dampers allows you to soften it for street driving. It's so easy to do that some owners drive to the track on the soft settings and then set the dampers to full stiffness in the paddock before they head out on track. The rear install is similar to the front and quite a bit more straightforward on the 718 than it is on the 911.
Rear, we're installing a set of TPC toe links along with some Tarett toe lockout plates. The toe links serve multiple functions. They're adjustable so you can compensate for extra camber with appropriate toe settings.
And because the 718 suspension geometry exhibits some bump steer, these have a built-in offset that TPC claims reduces that tendency by half. I chatted with Tom at TPC about it, and he said that with a stock alignment, the car likes to toe out as the rear suspension droops, so under heavy braking, the car can feel squirrely. This kit with the correct alignment will prevent the rear tires from ever toeing out. It also doesn't hurt to eliminate a rubber bushing from the suspension for better feel. The Tarett lockout plate ensures that the factory eccentric bolt for toe adjustment doesn't shift under heavy cornering loads, which they have a tendency to do. The toe arms and lockout kit costs about $900. This car has the Porsche Active Suspension Management System, but the Ohlins are passive dampers, so a PASM delete kit is necessary to trick the car into thinking the PASM system is still present. That kit costs $650.
With the suspension parts installed, it was time for the tune. The beauty of these turbocharged cars is it's so easy to unlock the potential that Porsche left in reserve from the factory with just a simple ECU flash. A lot of 718 fans think that Porsche's engineers intentionally sandbagged the 718 so it wouldn't step on the 911's toes. I don't know, but it seems like a plausible theory.
Nah.
We went with APR's Stage 1 ECU tune and their PDK transmission tune. APR dynoed their stock car at 355 horsepower and 344 pound-feet of torque at the wheels. With the tune, those numbers improved to 413 horsepower and 398 foot-pounds of torque. I'm a huge fan of the Porsche Flat 6, but there is no denying that this tuned Turbo 4 is a performer. With their PDK tune, APR says that, among other things, they've optimized the transmission, allowing it to hold more torque, accelerate more quickly, and drive more smoothly. Together, the tunes run about $2,900, and it's an incredible boost in performance for the money.
Quality suspension components can't perform their best without an aggressive alignment, so Gabe threw the car up on our alignment rack to dial it in.
Finding the right settings can be a little tricky on a car that's going to see dual use on the street and the track. As you get beyond about 2.5 degrees of negative camber, the car can start to feel a little darty on the street. There are also limits to how far you can go with stock control arms and top hats. As you add negative camber, you need enough toe adjustment, and then your caster starts to get out of whack. That's a bit of a rabbit hole to go down, so it's important to understand your targets and what hardware you will need to achieve them before you start buying parts. We ended up right around -2 degrees of camber front and rear, which should be about perfect for what this car is doing.
The install was wrapped up, and all that was left was a test drive before we handed the keys back to Chip. By the way, he's going to be back in town next month, and we've invited him to Atlanta Motorsports Park, so make sure you subscribe so you can see how the car performs on track. Way more popcorn than I was imagining. Wow. It's been a while since we were in the video car, the Cayman that started the Ohlins Road and Track craze. Man, it's a brisk 40 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And the only way to do this is with the top down. When you've got a Boxster and you've tuned it and you've put it on coilovers, you have to have the top down. No excuses. The car feels firmer. You know, it feels planted. It's composed. It is not rough. It is not beating us up at all.
No.
Comfortable.
Yeah, feels great.
Ohlins Road and Track. Why not both?
What a delight.
It is a delight. That's the way to describe it. You found the right word. So, can you beat a 718 Spyder for half the price? Well, Chip took the car to Sebring and he had a blast over the course of 2 days and 96 laps. Yeah, he counted, so what? In his very kind and completely unsolicited 5-star Google review, he said he pulled past lots of cars, including a 4-liter GTS. If we tally up everything he spent, it was about $17,000 in parts and around $5,000 in labor, so we went a little bit over our imaginary budget. But the beauty of a project like this is you don't have to do everything all at once, and we tailor every build to what the customer wants to use the car for. So what do you think? Would you consider putting that kind of money into a Boxster or Cayman S? Let us know in the comments. And if you do have a project like this coming up and you want a shop to help, give us a call.